What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I'm over here in the Warlords of Draenor beta, and I'm playing what I thought would be unbearable to play, but it actually feels like I've embraced the bear, and it's not really that bad. I'm playing a Guardian Druid, and if you guys have seen a couple of my videos, I mentioned how much I hate Guardian Druids, and I think Warlords of Draenor might make me change my opinion a little bit. I've kind of enjoyed the way they play, and so I'm going to show you guys pretty much what's going on. I don't really play one on live, so I can't really say a lot that changes if these actually will correspond to changes on live or not. But the first thing I'll do is obviously I'll just attack a normal dummy. Now, what makes this really easy for me to play personally is that it's very similar to a warrior in the way that there's kind of a proc ability that's off the GCD that can proc, and then it doesn't cost any rage. And that is the what is that, the Maul or something like that. I don't remember what it is, but it's basically like their heroic strike. And on top of that, there's 2 bleeds that you have to keep up on single target, and that's Thrash and Lacerate. Lacerate stacks up to 3, and Thrash is just kind of like it's basically an AoE ability. And Thrash is really what makes Bear Druids right now, in my opinion, extremely good. Now, in terms of the 100 talents, there's one 100 talent that makes Savage Defense, which is the thing that I just pressed now. I think that's Savage Defense. Normally, it grants you, I think it's 45% dodge for a period of time. And if you glyph into it, you spec into it, it gives you 100% dodge for 3 seconds, and there's 3 charges. And so effectively, and it has a 9-second recharge. And so effectively every 18 seconds, you can have a 6-second immunity. And it's really amazing. I'm personally not that big of a fan of it. I don't really, I use it kind of, but I don't really need to. And this is where Thrash is really good, because Thrash, the more enemies it hits, the more rage it gives you. And as you can see, Frenzied Regeneration is like kind of the heal that Bear Druids have, and you can cast that. It's also off the GCD, and it heals you for a large amount of health. And as you see here, like if I'm fighting 5 mobs here, I can pretty much keep myself alive and heal myself up to full. And so the more mobs that a Guardian Druid is fighting, the stronger it becomes, because it can just use Thrash. And another thing that's really great about this is not only am I doing a lot of damage, but I don't even have to pay attention to doing it. Like, I'm literally hitting the exact same button. Thrash has no resource costs. It is just nothing. I'm actually surprised that it doesn't cost rage, and I hope that they don't change it. Like, if they don't change it, I'll be very happy, and I'll probably make one of these on live. But I don't really know if they will change it or not, but we'll see about that. Now, in terms of single target, as I said before, you do keep up the bleeds. I don't really keep up Lacerate whenever I'm doing more than 2 targets. And again, also, I'm not a very good Bear Druid. Like, I have not really spent a whole lot of time playing it. But a little bit later in this video, I'm going to show you guys pretty much what to expect in terms of like actual fights. And I'm going to tank like a UBRS run, at least part of it. My group fell apart halfway through. And so, but there'll be a lot of footage there, and I can show you guys pretty much what to expect in terms of an actual gameplay footage fight, and how much damage I'm taking and all that. Because the target dummies are one thing, but the actual game is something else. In terms of the cooldowns that you have 1 cooldown, and I don't remember the name of it, and it's right in between the Soothe and Gift of the Wild. I'm sorry, I just can't remember it. It's like Frenzied Defense or something like that. It reduces the damage that you take by 70%, and it's a huge amount. I mean, obviously 70%. Nobody else has anything even similar to that, and it has 2 charges, and so you can use it back to back, and one can recharge while you wait. And so it definitely has a lot of uptime if you want to use it all the time, or if you need to use it all the time. And there's also Bark Skin, which is like your 1-minute small cooldown. It gives you a 20% damage reduce. It's the same as like a Bone Shield or something like that for a Death Knight. And other than that, there's a couple of other abilities that you have. But Berserk, which basically makes your Mangle hit 3 targets and also have no cooldown. That can be used kind of as a defensive cooldown, because Mangle gives you a lot of rage. And so the more rage you get, obviously, the more Frenzied Regenerations and Savage Defense casts you can make. But other than that, it's not really as important. There's also Incarnation, Might of Urslok. I never really use that a whole lot, but I'm assuming that will also be a pretty good tank cooldown. And so right now, I think that Bear Druids have about as many cooldowns as a Death Knight. And so I think that's like 5 or something like that. And also they have 2 forms of active mitigation, the same way that Warriors do, as I said before, with Frenzied Regeneration and also Savage Defense. And I think I'm probably going to, I don't really remember if I attack a raid dummy or not, But anyway, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. As I said, what Bear Druids really excel at is AoE tanking and AoE damage, because the more mobs that they fight, the more damage they do, basically. And so anyway, after this, like, I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time doing this here. As I said, I'm not really a very good Bear Druid, and so that guy pretty much wrecked me. We're over here in EVRS, and in just a second here I'll pull a pack, and I'll show you guys pretty much what the damage intake is and everything else like that. Now, there's actually a glyph that you can get that increases your armor by like 200%, and I don't have it because for whatever reason it doesn't let you get it on beta. I don't really know why. And so I actually will probably be taking even less damage as on live compared to where I am now. And again, as you can see, I'm pretty much always at full rage, and I don't even really need to heal myself all that much. I think in some of the larger fights, I'll show you guys the healing meter breakdown and kind of comparing myself to our actual paladin healer, and so you guys can see how strong Bear Druids actually are. And if you see here, like, there's only 3 mobs, and so I can't really show you guys how amazing Thrash is with just 3 mobs, but even with 3 mobs, like, it's very easy to pretty much always keep your heals up. And this is kind of a bigger pull. This is 2 packs at the same time. Now, this is not heroic, by the way. This is just normal, but I think heroic would probably be, I mean, it would be a little bit harder, obviously, but it wouldn't be, like, in my opinion, I don't think it would be, like, ridiculously harder or anything like that. And as you see here, like, my rage is just automatically going up to full, like, every other half second, and I'm just, like, healing myself with Frenzied Regeneration, and it's pretty much healing me to full, like, every GCD almost, because Frenzied Regeneration is off the GCD. Anyway, so in my opinion, I think Bear Druids are probably one of the best tanks right now, and I would have never even made one except for someone was mentioning to me how good they were, and I figured I'd go over to the dark side and put on the fursuit and see how it is. And I actually have been having some pretty good times doing this. I don't really know if this is my favorite tank so far. I really do like Death Knights because of the way they play, but right now, because Bear Druids are so easy to play, I really can't complain a whole lot. And again, like, as soon as you hit about 5 targets or so, the amount of healing that you can do to yourself is just fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm amazed that this is even okay, like, this far into the beta. Like, I will kind of be surprised if this actually makes it on the live and is not nerfed pretty soon, because it is a lot more powerful than the rest of the classes. And so here, this is a pretty large pack with all melee mobs, and so I'll show you guys pretty much all the heals that I can do, and also watch my rage bar as fast as it goes up, and it'll go back down and then up, and whenever it goes down like all that far, that means I'm obviously casting Frenzied Regeneration. As you can see, I'm just spamming that at the same time as spamming Thrash, because again, Thrash isn't a GCD, but Frenzied Regeneration isn't, and I'm just getting all kinds of rage, and it's just ridiculous. And if you look at the damage, obviously, I'm also topping the damage meter by like a fucking mile, and the only other person who's even close is a warrior, and warriors are pretty good now anyway, and so compared to that. Now, I was doing some testing on my Death Knight also, and I'd say like Necrotic Plague damage is really, really good. And so I really wish, I'm probably going to do the same pulls on my Death Knight, and I'm going to compare the damage from the two, and so I can really say for sure. But this is definitely a lot more durable than a Death Knight in terms of AoE tanking, because of the amount of self-healing you can do to yourself. At about 6 or 7 targets, unless they're extremely heavy hitting, you can probably actually solo them, because the amount of healing that you can just do to yourself without really doing anything else. Now here, I decided to add this clip here because it was just kind of it's kind of ridiculous how many mobs come out here. And about halfway through, I get like really overconfident, and I pull like a bunch of other mobs at the same time. And we also only have four people with us. And as you can see, like watch how much I heal here, because I have like, as you guys can see, there's like a million mobs. And so literally every single thrash that I do just heals me to full health, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just jumping around, not even worrying about if they're like attacking me from the front or not. And here, I'm just like, yo, this is fucking awesome. I'm about to go pull this other pack too, because I was like absolutely just like so like confident in how good the spec is. And as you guys can see, I'm still like healing myself, and I actually think I beat the paladin on self-healing here because of the amount of self-healing I can do to myself. And I didn't even really use any cooldowns, I don't think, except for like maybe Bark Skin or something like that. But that's what's really amazing about this. And honestly, anybody that has beta, I would suggest, pick up a Bear Druid and try it out. Like, it's, especially if you play a Warrior tank, it's very similar to Warrior tank, just because of just the way that the spells work. They're almost all the same, and so if you have the same like mentality with Warrior tank, Frenzied Regeneration is very similar to Shield Barrier, except for it's a heal, not an absorb. Frenzied Defense is a lot like Shield Block. The Maul or the Thrash is obviously like Thunderclap. There's a lot of similarities. I'm not going to get into every single one of them. But as you see here, I mean, it's just absolutely not a big deal. And if you look, obviously, again, at the damage, because Skada works on beta. I don't even know I use Skada, but I use it on the beta here. I'm also doing like a really huge amount of damage. And so I'm very, as I said before, I'm very happy with how this is. And I never really thought I'd see the day that I actually play a Bear Druid. Like, I think the idea is stupid, and I don't like it, but I really can't argue with these results, and I might have to change my mind here. And as you see, I got very low, and I used the Savage Defense there, and it was just like a cooldown, and I took no damage. It's like casting Evasion as a rogue. You just literally take no damage. And in this next clip here, I figured I'd add this in as the last little clip for this video, and this is going to be me almost soloing Razor Claw, which is the 4th boss, and I solo him all the way to the to his Enrage phase. And I would try and solo him through there, but Soothe takes me out of bear form, and so I can't really do that. But anyway, as you guys see here, I actually did out-heal the Paladin, and it's a very large pull, and I actually did top DPS as well. And so that's really, I like that. And it's a very long fight that I did against this Razor Scale or Razor Claw, whatever. I always get confused. And so it's basically soloing, like this guy who was with me, like I think he died to the first breath, and so I'm not really going to say that it was completely soloing, but it was pretty much completely soloing, because this guy died like extremely fast. Like he's probably about to die in a second here, so. Anyway, so the talents that I really use here is I use Cenarian Ward, and it's just kind of like another AoE heal. Yeah, he's already dead. And before I edited this down, it was like 7 minutes or something like that. And to me, it's crazy that this is even like a possibility that a Bear Druid can even solo tank and kill like a normal boss. And again, our gear is scaled down, and so it's not like I'm over-gearing this encounter or anything. And it does get a little rough at some point because I have like a Stacks of the Bleed on me, and it gets like 7 or something. But Cenarian Ward, because of the way Resolve works, and Resolve is the new Vengeance. It really makes it not that easy, or not that difficult to heal yourself, because Resolve just heals you for so much. And I use these Ragewing Whelps to heal myself up, because again, as I said, like whenever you're fighting multiple targets, you're just doing like godly healing, and so it's really kind of fun to do this. And I was pretty much able to do this extremely easily. Like this was like just my first try. I just ran in there and I was just like, yo, what's going to happen? And I thought this was really cool. But anyway, that's pretty much, I mean, it's not really it for the video, it is, but that's just the rest of the fight. And anyway, so the main things that are good about this, I'll just kind of go over it, is that Bear Druids have very, very strong AoE damage and AoE survivability, and very good active defenses. The only thing that I would say is like a negative is that their single target DPS is not really as high as like a Death Knight or a Warrior, I don't think, in terms of tanking. But other than that, these Bear Druids are just fucking amazing. I'll be surprised if they don't get nerfed, because I've never really had a expansion where Bear Druids were legitimately just like better than all the other tanks. But we'll see. I hope not, kind of. But it was definitely a lot of fun to play, and it will be a lot more fun to play once things are more, I don't know, like kind of solidified, so I actually really know what to expect. But especially the AoE healing thing is just fucking incredible. And outside of that, that's pretty much it. So if you liked it, I would definitely say go play a Bear Druid on beta. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So if you guys want to see me wipe on, what is his name? Jesus Christ. I need to remember this guy's name because I say it wrong every time. Ragewing. Is it Ragewing? I think it's Ragewing. I don't even know. So anyway, the Proto-Drake. If you guys want to see me wipe on him, just keep tuned. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got. So thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.